Hey there, toy collector friends and Doctor Who fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Triple TC, that is the time travelling toy collector, and today we are looking at an online exclusive that's recently been released and then shipped almost immediately from Character Options. It is the 14th Doctor, without his coat this time and without a jacket, and the Meep, as they appeared in the 60th anniversary story, The Star Beast. Now, this is again in the new sort of packaging that I really like. So I'm going to start sort of oddly on the side here with that sort of that version of the logo, the sort of, well, really horizontal logo, but vertically here. So BBC Doctor Who, very nice. We've got the diamond logo here. It's another high deco Vortex figure, so it's another entry into the Vortex range. What I think is really interesting here is that we've got multiple colours. As you've seen in some of the other releases, they've tended to have set colours for set Doctors, but interestingly here we've got all the colours. I don't know whether that's because it's a sort of special edition Doctors, and you know, the 14th Doctor was part of the 60th anniversary, or whether it's a new manoeuvre that we're going to go for different colours when it's the Vortex range. We don't know. Let's take a quick closer look. There you can see the 14th Doctor. Try and get so there's not so much shine there. We'll obviously get these out in a second. There's the Meep with alternative, you can see here, with alternative Meep head. And there's the evil Meep head. And there's the sweet little Meep head. And there's the range of hands. It's nice to see the detail there. You can see the Meep's had his hand bandaged, and there is an alternate hand there with the blaster within it. I'm already thinking I'm not going to take all of the various different alternates out. I think I'll probably swap the head round, but the hands I'm just going to leave. I mean, you can see them there. I think for me, really, the main sticking point, there's the diamond logo, horizontal logo, albeit vertically, and then tons of stuff on the back. They've really gone all out on the information here. So there's a little bit more detail about the Vortex editions, higher specification deco, etc. The scale, the exact contents, and loads of information, predominantly about the Star Beast, which was the first of the 60th anniversary specials. And here we can see that it's the 14th Doctor without his jacket, and both the adorable and vicious Meep with interchangeable heads. But I think the thing that I'm going to probably focus on, which is something I don't tend to focus on, is whether this is worth 40 odd pounds UK money. It's quite a lot. Now, my gut feeling tends to be stuff costs money to make, and I get all of that. But I'm really not sure at the moment that this is worth the asking price. Now, that does not mean that what's in there isn't high quality and isn't good. I don't know yet. I've not taken it out. You can see it's all still tied in. I did notice, as it's an online exclusive, they were doing the sort of now traditional, you can only buy X number online, so people then don't start to become scalpers. But that almost creates a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, we can only buy 2. That means it's going to be scarce. So I'll go on twice and buy 4. Or I'll set up another account and buy another couple, or whatever. And it sort of creates a false marketplace, which then becomes the real marketplace, because that's the nature of the economics of it. And that all to one side, it's whether or not this at its asking price is value for money. And I think there's play value here. I think there's displayability value here. I just question a little bit whether what we're getting here is worth the asking price. Because if you were buying 2 of these, that's the best part of £90 for 2 of these. Now, yes, you get 2 figures, and arguably you get sort of 2.5 figures, because the Meep can be both demure and mischievous. So we get 2 Meep options here and an array of additional hands. So that's good. We get the little sonic screwdriver for the Doctor there, so that's good. But I don't feel, I think if this was maybe £10 less, it would feel more value for money. And I can't really tell you why, other than it just experience of picking up action figures. It just feels like this is a little bit inflated in the price department. But you know what? I've bought it, other people will buy it, and if it wasn't, if the market couldn't bear it, it wouldn't sell at that price, you know. And at the time of recording this, Character Options have just put a thing out saying that 80% of this has been sold. So by the time this goes live on YouTube, on my channel, there's every possibility that more has gone. And again, I think part of that is enabled by this sort of, I suppose, genius marketing ploy, because it's doing what it has to do. It's selling the product. But by preventing people from buying more than two, which I do agree with, by the way, because it, as I say, I get the logic of it. But it sort of then initiates that sensation that people are going to buy more than two. It's going to become a highly scalped product. And, you know, would it have been? I don't know. I think people are really grateful to have this. I see a lot of custom versions of this. I think people would be great to have a 14th Doctor without the jacket. Personally, I might have, if we're talking about interchangeable hands, I like the Meep character. I'd keep the Meep, maybe. But maybe instead of giving the Meep so many different hands, maybe give the Doctor two interchangeable arms, so he can have the long sort of no things arms, so he can have his arms are too long, and have a hands theme, so you've got the two really long arms that are interchangeable with his existing arms because he's in the right outfit, and the Meep with interchangeable heads. That possibly would have made me go, oh yeah, there's a range of playability there, and that might have tipped me over. But maybe that's something coming in the future. Maybe that's something, who knows. We might get a no-thing Doctor and a no-thing Donna double do-pack, and she might have multiple knee joints, etc. And he might have the long arms. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to open this up and get them out of the packaging and have a look at what they're actually like in hand. So that's all done, nice and easy, in the flicker of an eye. And you can see here I'm leaving, because they're taped in, I'm going to leave the different hands there, the different Meep hands, in the plastic bubble. But you can see, especially if I rotate it, you can see there where he's holding that blaster, or the Meep is holding the blaster there, just like from the show. So that's a nice touch. I'm also leaving in the 14th Doctor sonic screwdriver, because it is exactly the sort of thing that will get lost. But brilliantly, there's no tearing, no ripping, so this can absolutely be reused for display purposes, if you want to keep them in the box, because that's a thing that we've been seeing quite a bit of recently. Now here we get a bit of a diorama. It's the Meep's ship as it's landed in the factory, so you get that as a bit of a background. I'm not going to use it for today. I just wanted you to see it, because then you can see, well, that is behind the figures, so you do get access to that. Instead, I've wheeled out the 14th and 15th so far's Doctor's personal diorama. Let's just get in a bit slightly tighter than that, so it's a bit more a better framed shot. Perhaps, there we go, that's better. Right, well, let's take a look at the two main attractions from this set then. First up, we have the Meep, and I've got to say, I really love the sculpting on this figure. The eyes are brilliant. The characterization through the body is brilliant. I mean, you can't look at that and not get a real sense of that character. The head is posable, so you can get quite a bit of dynamic action range, up and down, left and right. It's all going on there. The ears are quite soft. The arms, you've got, oh, poor Meep. You've got some lovely joints there. both in terms of elbow, although you can't do super amounts with the elbow because this molded in fur kind of hampers it, but it's enough to give you something, and to give you a bit of a sense of the Meep. There's also a little bit of body articulation, forwards and backwards and side to side. You can see that there. There's some side to side action. The legs are molded as is with these feet. You can see these feet here. Lovely feet that they are too. But there's no, as I say, there's no articulation in the legs. To be honest, I think that works. That makes sense to me. I think it would be over articulated and you'd lose the shape of the figure in order to allow those legs to move. And because it sort of only ever sort of moved a bit like that, didn't it? I think that works. And it stands up just nicely. You know, it's got a nice centre of gravity. So, or mavity, whatever. Apologies. So that does work for me. I haven't taken the head off yet. But it's easy, just pops off like that. Very nice. And you pop on the next one, he says, although it doesn't seem to want to. That's the sort of thing that always scares me. And now you've got Vicious Meep. And I think the subtle change to that is really great. Again, you can see it just through the sort of eyes and, of course, the mouth with those teeth in there. It really does change the character of the piece. Really, really brilliantly done. Very nice sculpting. Is it worth the price? I'm not entirely sure that it is. We'll pop him there for now. And look at this guy. Now, I have to just say, this head sculpt is quite good. I've seen online a few people, so I'm just getting a really close look at it. A few people who said, "Oh, it doesn't look anything like David Tennant. It doesn't look like the character." Now, considering that it's a relatively mass-produced action figure, I actually think it looks extremely like the 14th Doctor. It doesn't look like the 10th Doctor. I think if it looked like the 10th Doctor, it would be even worse because, you know, he didn't look like the 10th Doctor. He looked like a significantly older version. So, you know, in essence, the 14th Doctor with a fully formed face. And I think this head sculpt captures him a lot more than some head sculpts have captured other Doctors. In terms of the actual outfit, you do, of course, get the appropriate articulation. I thought there might be a bit of forwards and backwards on the head. There isn't really, not sufficient to pose. But you do get some wonderful arm articulation. Again, when it's this sort of generation and it's Vortex, it works really well. So you've got all the various points of articulation in the arms that you would hope for. There is limited but available waist articulation. And the legs do all the things you would want the legs to do. So again, from an articulation point of view, I'm really pleased. There's no feet articulation, but I can live with that if I'm perfectly honest. In terms of the costume, I think this is a really great representation of the 14th Doctor. I love that his sleeves, if you can see those there, I love that his sleeves are rolled up, if you can see that there. I love the detailing of the belt on the back of his waistcoat. You can see that pulled out. Let's see if I can get a bit closer. You can see that pulled out in silver there. There's even a seam in the seat of his trousers, suit trousers. I love all of that. I think all of that works tremendously well. In terms of the front, you can see that nice sort of cut-off grey tie that's not fully done to the top. The lapels are there, the button is there. You've even got that sort of sense of fabric stressing as it's pulled taut across his chest. And I love that. It looks so accurate. It looks accurate to the show, but I think I really believe what I'm seeing. This is a very high quality action figure. Now that's not me becoming an apologist for the price. I am just accepting that this is a very high quality action figure. It's posable, It's freestanding. You know, there's quite a bit to like about this action figure. Similar for the Meep. Again, the heads just pop off and attach that way. It's almost a bit sort of spooky having it disembodied like that. But ultimately, I think this 14th Doctor and Meep set works really well. I just come back to the price, and I just think it feels about £10 too much for what we get. If they could have got those arms into the mould, so we could have had the interchangeable arms with the Doctor. I know it's from a different story to this one, I get that, but, you know, it's not the first time we've seen things in certain ranges where one character's got some accessories from across a range of certain things. I'm thinking of the third Doctor with a Chronos crystal and maggots. So, you know, it's not outside the realms of possibility, is it? Let's be real here. But by the same token, there are industry costs, and I get that, and things cost money, and things aren't as inexpensive as they perhaps once were. So those costs do have to be wrapped into it. It's not being released at retail. It is an online exclusive, so I don't know whether that has a particular set of implications. But, you know, I mean, I've paid for it. So I can't really say it's too expensive because I've paid for it. If it was too expensive, I wouldn't have done, but I have. So I suppose it's just whether it's value for money, and I think it's what you do with it. I mean, I will get value for money from it, through its use. I will, and how I'll use it, and from a personal entertainment point of view, photographs, etc., etc. I will happily say that was 40 odd pounds invested well. I appreciate that won't be everyone's experience, and for some families, and I forgive me if you feel I'm talking out of turn, and I don't wish to appear to be stereotyping or being negative, but for some families, £40 for a couple of action figures, it's a lot of money. You know, £40 might be a large chunk of a weekly shop or a fortnightly shop, you know, if you know, depending on how big the family is. So if I'm buying this for a kid to play with, I don't know if I'm spending that much money. Maybe for a birthday or something, but if it's an online exclusive and it's nearly sold out, I'd have to be buying it now. Maybe it's Christmas. I don't know. I just feel that from a price point of view, it just needed something else to make me go, yep, I'm comfortable with spending that. The approximation being of around £20 per figure, because that's what we're dealing with, you know, with their accessories. But of course, the Doctor only has one accessory. All the other accessories are the Meeps, interchangeable bits. So again, I don't know. I'm mixed on this. I think it's very close to value for money, and personally, I'll get value for money. I already am, as you can see. But it's whether everyone would get value for money, or whether it's going to price itself out of the market. Now, I think we've got a couple more at least online exclusive Vortex editions coming out this year, 2025. I am excited for them, very much so. I really am. I think Character Options have really hit their stride. I think they're producing some fantastic figures. I just hope that they produce the fantastic figures and they sell, because I don't really think we're in a time where people will go, well, if it's good enough, people will spend the money. It might be good enough, but not everyone's got the money to spend. And I think that's important. And the trouble with that kind of philosophy, I fully appreciate, is, well, if we make it something people can afford, we will have to sacrifice the quality. And then people like me sit here going, well, the quality's not all that, but at least it's affordable. And so I get that they're sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I think the quality here is good. My view of this, it's just out of the box. My exposure to it, my playing with the figures, touching the figures, handling the figures and their interchangeability, I think that the quality of the figures is good. It is something I would pay for, and will pay for again with forthcoming figures, because I want them in my collection and I am privileged enough to be able to afford it. I just hope that the market is sustainable, because I would love to see these continue to be produced. I would love to know what you think. Do you think that there is a sense of overpricing in some of these? Do you think that I'm thinking too much about it? Should I just go, yeah, it's you know, 40 quid, here's my money, bang, don't worry about it. If people can afford it, they'll buy it. If they can't afford it, they won't buy it, and they'll just have to miss out and deal with it, because that is the reality. So maybe I just need to hush my mouth and appreciate the fact that I've got them. I'd love to think that you know, I'm being a bit reasonable in my valuation, but of course more important is what you guys think. I'm really interested to know what you think. Do you think the figure quality is good? Do you think it is value for money? What would you like to see included in a set like this? And more importantly, considering we don't yet know at the time of recording here in June 2025 what the future Vortex edition figures are going to be, what would you like to see, complete with accessories to sort of make that price point palatable? What would you like to see in a future Vortex edition? I'll be honest, a 14th Doctor and Meep probably wasn't on my bingo card, but I am here for it. I do like it. But I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. While you're there, please drop a like for the video, especially as you stayed this long. I much appreciate it. And if you haven't already, I would super appreciate it if you could drop a subscription to the channel. That way you never miss a future video. And there's no obligation to watch everything. So if you're not into Transformers or Star Trek or Star Wars or G.I. Joe or Battlestar Galactica or any of those sorts of things, then that's fine. Just stick around for the Doctor Who stuff. But if you've dabbled in other fandoms, then maybe have a look around. There might be something else that catches your eye. Whatever you choose to do, I'm just glad you spent the last 20 minutes or so with me, looking at these figures, hearing me ramble on about my thoughts, and taking a couple of seconds at the end to share some of your thoughts in the comments down below. You've been a fantastic audience. Thanks for sticking around. I've been the Triple TC, that is the Time Travelling Toy Collector. This has been the 14th Doctor and The Meep from Character Options in their online exclusive 2-figure pack. And it's on my 14th, 15th Doctor's TARDIS diorama from Collect. Oh, I've forgotten what they're called. Oh my goodness me! I had it right on the tip of my tongue there. From Collect and Customize. I was going to say something similar to that, but completely incorrect. But yeah, from Collect and Customize. And if you want to see that and some of the other dioramas, I do have them in another couple of videos. Anyway, all that remains for me to say is take care. I look forward to seeing you in a future, or of course a past video, and that things of beauty really are toys forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.